So, Judge Quinton Washington from Fulton County, Georgia, would anybody in Georgia buy this? I didn't know how to get out of this situation, as he's circling around and then pumps his shotgun, which is an incredible scary sound. Would you buy that? Do you think a jury's buying this? I mean, I'm having trouble.
Well, here's what I think. I think that absent there being clear evidence on the other side, he had a good reason to shoot his best friend. Now, ultimately, that would be up to a jury to decide, but the level of information he has and the level of detail that he has, he was there, I would say, definitely when it happened.
Yeah, I agree. I buy that. What I don't buy is the phony tears, and I think the defense had to or has to take advantage of that to show that he knows how to concoct. Right? Wouldn't you, as a defense interviewer, even the same thing as a judge, know that he knows how to concoct to get out of situations? He knows how to make the story saleable.
Well, here's the only question, though. The only question that you look at on the other side of it is, why would he say that if he didn't do it?
Well, Judge, if I were the defense attorney, here's what I'd do. I'd read his, and let me pull up. I don't want to, read it wrong. I would do possibly anything I could to stay out of prison. Yes. Isn't that a good motive that he would make it up against Denise Williams? Because what else does he have to offer besides the body? Once he offers the body and they don't take it, what else does he have to give?
Well, here's the other thing. I think the best way they can poke holes in his credibility is to show that they were about to find out that he did it and that he was about to get criminal charges that would have kept him in jail for life because of what happened.
Well, Judge, do you buy the fact that here is supposedly his cohort, the wife, Denise Williams, is on trial? She's kidnapped by this man who has a gun on her sides. He has tarp. He has things to tie up. He has bleach in his car when he kidnaps her. Most men I know don't have bleach in their car, and he kidnaps her. And then he says, oh, she wants me to do life in prison for this? Oh, well, she was my cohort. Isn't that a good reason to say you could doubt his credibility?
Oh, definitely so. Definitely so. But you've got a lot of information that links both of them that could get both of them substantial time, because you've got the fraud, you've got that one to two people possibly were involved in the killing. You have those two people as being beneficiaries of over $1 million of insurance that they could have collected. You've got that they were close and that he had enough information about what happened at the scene to where he's going to get significant time, even if he was not the shooter.
Well, obviously, Judge, you have to do the prosecution closing. I have to do the defense closing. But before any of that, we have to go to break. Welcome back to the Law and Crime Network. Aaron Keller, as you know, has a show at 5 o'clock called The Daily Debrief. I never miss it. You shouldn't either. But here today, he's going to tell us what's on it. Hi, Aaron.
Hey, Linda, look, I'm glad you're watching. I at least have one very important viewer. So here's what's up tonight on The Daily Debrief. Michael Cohen, the president's former fixer and personal attorney, sentenced today, of course, to 3 years in prison. We're going to break down the charges that he's going away for, along with myself and our senior legal editor, Ron Blitzer. That's off the top of the debrief. Plus, we're going to deconstruct this Denise Williams case and all of the bizarre sexual activities back and forth between her and the state's key witness. Is he even telling the truth? That's the big question. We're going to look at the cross-examination yet again and deconstruct that. Also, this other story is interesting. It involves nuns, $500,000, and a big plea for forgiveness. That's tonight on the Daily Debrief.
Wow, yeah, I can't wait to hear about the nun story being a product of a Catholic school education. But first, we're going to have to go back. No, not have to. We want to go back to this Winchester. It's actually the Denise Williams trial, but Brian Winchester is the star, if you'd say, the star witness, because he got immunity, and he was cross-examined about whether or not he's just outing Denise because he wants to save himself.
Arrangement with Wade Wilson.
Yes, sir.
And at that point in time, after learning of the arrangement with Wade Wilson, that scared you even more than facing just armed kidnapping charges, because now you were tampering with witnesses.
Yes, sir. Lying was just making things worse for me.
And you knew you were looking at life in prison.
I was already facing life in prison, but
It's getting worse.
it was getting worse.
You had a very firm judge, didn't you?
Hangman Hankinson, yes, sir.
I'm not going to comment on that. But you knew that things, your situation, not only from the armed kidnapping, but now with the witness tampering and obstruction of justice, it had gotten worse.
Yes, sir. Lying was making things worse.
So in October of 2017, this proffer agreement is negotiated.
Okay.
Well,
I don't remember the exact dates, but yes, there was a proffer agreement that came about.
and to try to help yourself out of the situation that you had put yourself in with the armed kidnapping and with the obstruction of justice, you give to the state information related to where they can find the body of Mike Williams.
I was asked to provide any and all information that I knew about the Mike Williams case in exchange for the things that you talked about earlier.
And you got the benefits that we talked about earlier, but you got one more benefit, didn't you? You got the benefit of seeing Denise Williams arrested, locked up, and brought to trial.
That's not a benefit.
You got the revenge for her putting you in the same situation you wanted to put her in.
No, sir. I wouldn't want to put anybody in this situation. She got herself in this situation.
Well, you would put your sister in the situation of tampering with witnesses.
I asked her for help. Yes, sir.
You would put Kim Adams in the situation of tampering with witnesses.
Yes, sir.
You have a history of trying to plant evidence. You put a fake hat out at the crime scene where you shot Mike Williams in 2001, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Winchester, you're a murderer, isn't it true?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Winchester, you're a liar, isn't it true?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's Brian Winchester. In a heated cross-examination, because the defense attorney's trying to say, hey, you're just trying to save yourself. Remember that prison statement that we just heard? Now, Judge Quinton Washington from Fulton County in Georgia, you were watching this with me. Now, what is he talking about? He's talking about this, and I have it right here, right hot off the presses, off the court website with this Wade Wilson, Jennifer Winchester, Kim Adams. Apparently, he was trying to have his sister involved, his friend involved. He was thinking about hiring a hitman named, if you can believe this, Wade Wilson. But he didn't. He was trying to suggest that he was going to pay off people, and the prosecution actually filed an in limine motion to prevent that testimony from coming before the jury just the other day. But it has, because why? It goes to his credibility or what?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely goes to his credibility, because at the end of the day, when jurors have to make the determination about who they believe and what they believe, and so what he's saying, if there's a mounting amount of evidence that says that he's uncredible, that's the decision for the jurors to make as to whether or not they find innocence or they convict. And so for him, if they're showing that he's lying all the time, how is he lying about what he's saying happened when he supposedly killed his best friend?
Well, one of the things he didn't lie about is that he killed his best friend with a shotgun, with bird pellet, because we heard from the medical examiner today that showed the picture of the x-rays. If he didn't lie about that, does that help him?
Yes. Because
why?
Here's what jurors are going to think about. When jurors go back there, they're going to be like, if we don't believe what Mr. Winchester says happened, then what do we believe happened such that we don't find him guilty of murder, etc.?
But here's the question I would ask everybody after they testified who was doing the forensics, the medical. Is there anything that you did, and I did this in a case last year named Aaron Hernandez, is there anything you did in your forensic investigation that connected my client sitting here having to listen to all this, listen to everything you said with my client? Anything? And what would the answer have to be? Oh, I see you're squirming a little bit, right? The answer would have to be no, right, Judge?
Yeah, you squirm on that one. You wouldn't want to say anything. You wouldn't want to say anything about it. But at the same time, part of what people know, especially when you're impaneling jurors who have lived in the area for a long time, which are going to be off your voter rolls, they have a general idea or have a general memory of what happened. And so they're going to be like, oh, we're now finally bringing this to a close. Is this plausibly what happened? Is this not? And if it's not, is it such that I vote to acquit or I vote to hang the jury in such a manner that we don't reach a verdict and we have a mistrial?
Well, we're going to continue to see. I understand that the court is back in session, so we're going to take you right back into the courtroom in the trial of Denise Williams.